Hello, can everyone hear me? Excellent, I see smiling faces, so that's giving me an indication that you all can hear me. Thank you so much for joining this workshop. I am excited for y'all to be with me today. I'm going to share my screen and change some settings on my Zoom so I can see as many of your smiling faces as possible. All right, and I am going to go ahead and start. So thank you all for being here. My name is Nikki McCord, and I'm very excited to present to you all this afternoon. So you are in the right place if you are in 3 ways to improve your presentation skills. Hola, mi nombre es Nikki McCord y estoy muy contenta de estar aquí contigo. Este taller es en inglés, pero quiero presentarme en español. I'm the founder of McCord Consulting Group and McCord Speaks, a Black-owned, woman-owned businesses with offices in the United States and Panama. I help businesses solve complex problems and empower leaders to take their teams outside of the status quo. So this workshop will be divided into 2 parts. In part 1, I will give you up to 3 minutes to improve, I'll give you 3 tips to improve your presentation skills in English. And in part 2, I'm going to ask for volunteers to present their deck to us. You'll have 3 minutes to present your 3 slides. And then we're going to spend about 5 minutes giving you encouragement and ways to improve your presentation. We won't be able to hear everyone's presentation tonight, so I do invite you all to listen carefully to those who present so that you can learn from their example. So, estoy aprendiendo español, entonces tengo muchos errores. ¿Es mi español perfecto? No. Entonces, tu inglés no es perfecto. En este taller, nosotros apoyemos a todos porque todos estamos aprendiendo. So my Spanish is not perfect, and guess what? Your English may not be perfect as well, and that's absolutely okay. We are all here to learn together and to support each other. So just like I'm learning Spanish and you may be learning English, I want you to feel comfortable practicing your presentation because we are all here to support you. I ask that everyone be kind in this session. It takes a lot of courage to make a presentation in front of strangers, and I really want everyone to be successful. Therefore, we will offer supporting and encouraging words even when we are recommending improvements to the presentations. Última, porque esta es un gran taller. Tengo normas para la participación online. Cuando quieres hablar, porfa, escribe en el chat box la letra L. L. L es levantar. Tipo la letra L en el chat box ahora para que sepa que entiende las instrucciones. Gracias. So because this is a large session, there may be opportunities where you may want to raise your hand or interrupt me or ask a question. So I ask that you type the letter L in the chat box. And when you type the letter L in the chat box, I can understand that you want to ask me a question, and that's absolutely fine. So thank you so much for those of you all who bore with my Espanol and understood the instruction. And for those of you who may not be speaking Spanish, go ahead and put an L in the chat box now so that I know that you understand the instruction. Excellent. Muchas gracias. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So at any time during our presentation, you can type the letter L in the chat box, and I will take a little bit of a pause and recognize you. I do ask that you don't type long messages in the chat box or don't ask long questions in the chat box. And that's just because I want everybody to pay attention to me. And when you type in the chat box, it takes away attention from what I'm presenting. So don't worry about interrupting me. Type an L in the chat box. Once I get to a natural stopping place in the presentation, I will recognize you. Also, we're going to have some presenters today, and we are going to provide some encouragement and some improvements to their presentation. So that'll be an opportunity for you to type an L in the chat box as well. So thank you so much for following that instruction. And guess what? We are going to get started. So I'm going to start with 3 tips that I want to give to you all to help improve your presentation skills. And here's the first tip. Memorize your introduction in English. You should have an introduction that describes your business, and this pitch is usually less than 30 words. Here's a pitch that's used by a Panama attorney, Giovanna Bernal, and I think it's a perfect example of what you can memorize in English. It goes very quickly. It's like 5 seconds long, so here we go.
Hello, my name is Giovanna Bernal. I'm a Panama attorney with more than 15 years of experience.
That's it. Easy peasy. It's a very short introduction. She memorizes it in English because English is not her primary language. And it's something short, sweet, memorizable, and it talks about her business and who she is as well. So remember, people are paying attention to the first and last things that you say. So make sure that you practice saying your introduction and your conclusion in English. Here's my second tip for you all. Eliminate nervous gestures and use your hands purposefully. If you use distracting hand gestures when public speaking, you'll prevent your audience from absorbing what you say. Don't touch your hair, don't put your hands in your pockets. Instead, be purposeful with your hands. If you're talking about a big fish, move your hands far apart to illustrate just how big that fish was. If you're comparing this year's results with last year's results and profits went up, move your hands in an upward motion to indicate this increase. Practice deliberate movements with your hands until they become smooth and spontaneous. Start to become conscious of your hand gestures when public speaking so you can help your audience understand, process, and remember what you're saying. And here's my final tip for you all. Less is more with PowerPoint slides. Use both pictures and words to convey your point. Don't put paragraphs on your slides. Just a few words that will help people remember your main points. Okay, so that's it. Those are my 3 tips. I'm going to pause for a moment to see if there are any questions, comments, or observations in terms of those 3 tips. Okay, excellent. No questions, comments, or observations. So it's time to present. But before we get to the presentations, I actually did the presentation as well. I did the exercise as well because I couldn't ask you all to do something that I didn't try myself. So I'm going to go through my presentation first, and maybe you want to give me some critiques on my presentation. And then after I give my presentation, we'll go into the folks who have volunteered. So here we go. My favorite food. Hello, I'm Nikki. Ayuda a las empresas a liberarse del status quo para que puedan tomar decisiones innovadoras. I help businesses break free of the status quo so that they can make innovative decisions. You can find me at all social media platforms at McCord Speaks. Hoy exploremos por qué las palomitas de maíz son mi comida favorita. Popcorn is the best food. I like popcorn because it's easy to make and it can be shared with my friends. Popcorn's a natural food that grows from the ground. Therefore, it doesn't need to be processed. When I make popcorn, I like to use a unique spice blend with kosher salt, dried garlic, black pepper, thyme, and rosemary. The ingredients I add to popcorn are also natural, making this a light and not overly processed snack. This is a simple snack that I like to make for myself and my friends. My friends gather at my house to watch the season finale of our favorite show, and they always request that I make a few bowls of popcorn. Sharing a bowl of popcorn brings us closer together. Popcorn isn't just my favorite food because it's fast and easy. It's a way for me to share my cooking skills and bring my friends together. Thank you so much for being a part of this presentation. And the next time I make a bowl of popcorn, I'll be sure to invite you over to enjoy it. If I can answer any questions for you or provide any additional information, please reach out to me at McCord Speaks on all social media platforms. And my email address is also listed. Muchas gracias. Thank you. That's it. Mine was a little bit less than 3 minutes. You all have 3 minutes for your presentation, but I couldn't ask you all to do something if I didn't do it myself. So that's the presentation that I put together for my favorite food. So with that being said, I'm going to pause again for any questions, comments, or observations in terms of my presentation or anything else that we've covered so far. Okay. Oh, okay. No more questions. Excellent. Well, we have some folks who have volunteered to present. I have 5 names. Now, we may get through the presentations pretty quickly. And so if there's anyone else who's interested in presenting after we go through the 5 people who've already volunteered, raise your hand. We'd love to see your presentation and give you some encouragement and support as you become a better public speaker. So my 5 volunteers are Eugenia Iranovi, Maria Victoria Martinez Trujillo, Alana Domingo, and Yanette Cortez. So we're going to go in that order. So Eugenia, Iranovi, Maria, Elena, and Yanette. Okay? All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. And if you have any difficulty sharing your screen, let us know, and we'll make sure that you have the ability to share your screen. But I am going to put my timer up because I have this nifty new little tool that I'm using. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the timer. And we are going to start with Eugenia. Is Eugenia here?
Okay, so Eugenia is not here, so we're gonna go through the list and see who showed up.
Excellent. Well, I see Iranovi.
Iranovi is here. Do you want to present? ¿Quieres presentar, Iranovi? Ask him on mute.
Sí, yes, sure.
Welcome.
Okay,
all right.
We're sharing privileges. All right. Ya deberías poder presentar, me avisas.
Okay, voy. My favorite food. Okay.
Awesome.
Can you see it? Everyone can see it?
Sí.
Okay. Okay, I cannot see anyone, but I will just go through my presentation. Since I saw the sample, I also gonna talk about my favorite food. Hello, I'm Iranovi Grena. I'm the planner. It's my personal project that brings awareness on how important it is to have a balance in life between work, friends, family, and ourselves by creating good organizational habits. You can find me at The Planner by Iranovi. That's my Instagram. And today I'm going to share what I love so much to eat pasta with chicken, mushroom, and tomato sauce. That's like my recipe, homemade recipe. When I want to eat chicken with pasta, I always have mushroom on it and red sauce. Okay, so what is the best? Why is the best or my favorite dish? because I love the mix of the ingredients and also the colors on it. I love to cook and put some colors on my food. So I choose vegetables, peppers, and of course mushroom, as you can see in the picture, is almost very similar to what I cook, and some chicken that I cannot see it in the picture, but I love my pasta with chicken. Is easy to cook, doesn't take too much time, is healthy meal, and also filling, like you get full after one dish, one plate, and you are satisfied after eating, as I mentioned, and the smell is just delicious. I just love it. And my daughter also, so it's the perfect plate for both of us. And thank you. If you want to contact me, I have my Instagram profile, The Planner by Iranovi, and also my email. And I will have any questions or about my presentation or about myself. It's my pleasure to answer it. Organize, plan, and act. That's my tip for today. Thank you. I cannot see if I have more than 3 minutes or not. Oh, I did it in less than a minute. Okay. Let me stop sharing.
Excellent. So first of all, let's give Iranovi a round of applause because it is not easy to present, especially presenting in English. So congratulations, you did a very good job. Thank you so much for presenting. Okay, I'm going to ask you all to give Iranovi some feedback. So I'm going to let you all start, and then I'm going to give feedback at the end. So if you'd like to speak, you can raise your hand or type the L in the chat box and I can recognize you. Or if it's more comfortable for you to raise your hand, I can see your hand being raised as well. Nanda, I see that you typed something in the chat box, but I'd love to hear what you have to say as well. Can we unmute Nanda so Nanda can give us her feedback?
Yes, hello everybody. I really like the presentation. I saw that she was a little nervous, but it's a really good job. She's very brave because she did it, but I couldn't. So good job.
Excellent. Thank you for those encouraging words, Nanda. Really appreciate it.
Andrea is saying
Yeah.
something.
Can we unmute Andrea?
Ya todos tienen la capacidad de unmute yourselves, así que si en algún momento quieren participar, pueden solamente quitar el mute.
So you should be able to, and that's Andrea. I know Andrea. So that's Andrea. And we can't hear you, Andrea. You're unmuted, but we cannot hear you. No, we can't hear. Oh, we can't hear you. Oh, no. Okay, well, we still have other folks who are going to be presenting. So hopefully you can add some commentary to our next presenter. So thank you so much, Andrea. Anyone else? Anyone hear anything from those three? Oh, did you say something?
Yeah. Oh, I was going to.
Luna, please go ahead.
Luna, I was going to say that I really enjoyed the introduction slide. I thought it was really detailed in terms of the planner business initiative, and then it was very descriptive. So I thought that was a really good plus. Yeah, so good.
Thank you so much for that, Luna. Yes, that first introductory slide where we get to learn a little bit more about Iranovi as well as her business. Thank you for those encouraging words, Luna. Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to give some of my encouragement and observations as well. So I loved your beginning slide. And you know what? Can Iranovi share her screen again?
Yeah, let me do that. Sure.
Excellent. Perfect. Loved your first slide. I like the use of your logo. So we have a visual representation of your business. We have your full name and we have your contact information. And I also liked how you told us in the slide what we are to expect. So that last sentence, where you're going to share so much why you like to eat pasta with chicken, mushroom, and tomato sauce. Excellent job. If I were to give you a tip on this one slide, the middle paragraph, remember when I said that we should be memorizing our introduction in English? This middle paragraph is a little long, and I want you to be able to memorize something a little bit shorter in English. So we won't talk about it today, but there are ways that you can construct your pitch. So what I will tell you is your pitch should be about 30 words long.
Okay, and it could be like I memorize it without having it in the slide, like say it and then just go with information in the slide. That could work too.
Yes, I love that critique. Absolutely, that will work as well. Yes, your pitch should be no more than 30 words. And so you should really be communicating to your audience who you are and what you do in 30 words or less. Not only is that a short amount of time to interact with your audience, but it's also going to be easier for you to memorize if it's something as shorter as well. So excellent job there. Can you go to your next slide, please?
Yes.
Had a lot of notes on this slide. I thought that you had a really good use of the commentary and the bullets. So you took my tip number 3, which is don't overload your slides with a lot of words. And you did a very good job of that. You put the things in bullet points, but then you had a lot of extra commentary so that we could listen to what you were saying and not so much concentrate on the words on the screen. So I thought that was a really good use. I also thought that it was a good use of the photo. You used one photo, that's all you needed. And I thought that the photo was really good to tell us exactly what your presentation was about. If there was one level of improvement that I would have for this slide, is I would suggest that you have a conclusion sentence that ties up everything that you just talked about in this particular slide, because your next slide is your thanks so much for being here. Here's my information. So we want to make sure that we're leaving our audience with so they can remember, wait, what was her food? Why was that food important to her? If we can just have something as a conclusion, and then we go into thank you so much for being here. This is how you can contact me. But otherwise, I thought you did an amazing job. Thank you for starting us out, and thank you for taking the time to participate as well.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Excellent. All right. Nanda, yes, please, if we can unmute Nanda.
Nanda, tú puedes quitarte el mute tú misma.
Okay. I want to make a question about the conclusion. Are you listening to me?
Yes, I can hear you.
About the conclusion. The conclusion is something that we are going to share with the audience. But we are not going to write it in the presentation, really.
Excellent question, Nanda.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, you don't have to write your conclusion on the slide, but it should be something that you say to the audience so
Okay,
the audience
okay.
can remember. Very good question. Thank you so much for asking that. Wonderful. Ah, you guys are great. I like y'all. Okay. Next we have Maria Victoria Martinez Trujillo. Is Maria here?
Hello, I'm here.
Excellent. Welcome, Maria. I'm going to go on mute and let you take over.
Okay. Let me share my presentation. Can you see my presentation?
Yes. If you just want to go into, there you go. We can see it. Go for it, Maria.
Okay. Hello to everybody. Thank you so much for all the organizers of this activity. It's a really nice activity to share with all of you. And today we are here to talk about some of my favorite foods. Okay. So my name is Maria Victoria, as you told. I'm a nurse and I love to cook. I spend a lot of my weekends cooking with all my family. And that's one of the most important activity that we do during the weekend. I work as in a company, and the name of my occupation is therapy self specialist. One of the most important message that we have in the company is to restore the patient life through the technology in all the business that we have in the company. But that's our main goal. So, but let's take the main objective we have in this meeting or conversation, that is to talk about my favorite food. And my favorite food is the seafood. I love all the menus, but I think when I go to a restaurant, the first thing that I see when I go is I have to look for the seafood. And it doesn't matter where is the company from, the food from. I love the Panamanian seafood, Peru seafood, Italy seafood. I love all of them. So it doesn't matter what is the origin of the seafood. I love all of them. Okay. So thank you very much for your time. So you can see my contact information if you want to contact me. Thank you so much.
Excellent job, Maria. Let's give Maria a round of applause for presenting. That was really good. All right. Do you want, you can keep sharing your slides because we may talk about some of your slides. So you can continue to share your slides, Maria,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
All right, while Maria is sharing her slides with us, I'm going to open it up to the audience again. So if you'd like to talk about Maria's presentation, put an L in the chat box, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. Kiranovi.
Hello, Maria. Yeah, I love the colors of the food. As I mentioned, that's one of the things that I like in food. And I would love to have like maybe that you talk about like a specific dish that you love and share that with us, like make it special. Like seafood is a lot of, like we have a lot of options with seafood, but it would be lovely like if you in the presentation you talk about something really specific that you love or that makes you like, yeah, like water your mouth when you see it. But I love the combination and that you did on with the slides.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Wonderful critique, Iranovi. Yeah, I think also that connects us to the audience. When the audience can remember, oh, we love ceviche. We love Panamanian ceviche. It's the best ceviche there is. When we say that, the audience connects with that. And while we will remember that you love all seafood, you just happen to really, really love Panamanian ceviche.
Yes. Octopus ceviche is my favorite one.
Excellent, wonderful. Who else would like to give a comment to Maria? Okay, I'm going to come in with a comment, and then if anyone wants to give another comment, I will make a little bit of a pause. So, the second slide, Maria.
Yes.
I loved the use of the tagline. I love the use of restore patients' lives through technology. That can be your pitch. Remember when I was talking about the pitch being 30 words or less, and it's something that we can memorize in English? I think that would make a very good pitch. So seeing it on the screen, hearing you say it, it makes me remember what you do in your professional life. So I thought that was a really good use of your tagline. I also really liked your picture. It's not a professional picture like Novi's picture or my picture. But what I really liked about your picture, or what I really like about your picture, is it helps me remember what it is that you do. And I think that it's very appropriate for the work that you do and what your presentation is. So if you don't, and I'm talking to everyone on the call right now, if you don't have a professional picture, I think that's fine, because you want the audience to have some type of a personal connection to you. And I thought that this picture really has a personal connection. I know who you are in your professional life. So I thought the picture was really good. In your presentation, Maria, and this is my fault. I'm going to take responsibility for this, because I asked you to introduce yourselves professionally, but then I also asked you to talk about your favorite food, and the two things don't really go together. However, what I will say is, in your presentation, I would suggest that you delineate, or you make it very known of when you're talking about your professional life, and then when you're talking about the food or the presentation. You got very excited about, we're going to be talking about food, and you told us it all about cooking and seafood, and then you went into your professional life, and then you went back to the food. So that's just something, and I'll take ownership of that, because it was a very confusing instruction, but that would be just something that I would suggest in this particular presentation, which may not translate to every single presentation that you make. Ariadna. Oh, please help me pronounce your name, because she just put an L in the chat, and I want to hear from her. And please say your name again so that I can make sure that I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah, my name is Ariadna.
Ariadna, please continue.
So yeah, it feels a little weird just to criticize people like I don't know. So, but yeah, just some comments here. I really like the presentations; they are really nice, and I like the fact that they are short too. But it seems to me like the ratio of I don't know, the amount of time the presenters in general spend talking about themselves versus the time they talk about the actual presentation is a bit off. Like maybe like it feels like sometimes the main topic is themselves instead of the other part, right? The second part. I'm not sure if you guys understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely, Ariadna, thank you so much for that critique. And I would encourage all of us, and I hope we are not, as we give you all encouragement and ways to improve, this is not meant to make you feel bad or tear you down. That I hope I speak for everyone on the call. That's not why we're here. We're here to improve everyone, because while Maria was brave enough to volunteer with her presentation, I think all of us can learn from these critiques. So Ariadna, thank you so much for that critique, and thank you so much for what you said. And I hope that we can all take this as encouragement of how we can improve and be better. So, great observation. And again, this was a little bit of a weird activity because I'm asking you to talk about yourself professionally and then talk about your favorite food. But we can apply that in any other type of presentation that we're doing as well. Because in another presentation, we're just going to have a little bit of time to introduce ourselves, but the bulk, the majority of the presentation will be about the topic that people came to hear you speak about. And so, yes, maybe we want to balance talking about ourselves just a little bit and talking about the topic at hand a lot more. So that's just something that we can think about as we go through our presentations as well. So thank you so much for that observation, Ariadna. All right. So I have two more things, and then I'm going to move on to our next presenter. So if you can go to your next slide, Maria. Welcome to the English language. If you are going to present in English, I would encourage you to partner with someone who English is their primary language, because there are certain things in English, and let me tell you, I'm learning this in Spanish as well. There are certain things in English that we say and we spell that are differently than we would think when we're learning a language. So, Maria, you said seafood, S-E-E food. Welcome to English. Yep, it sounds like seafood, but it's actually spelled S-E-A.
Yes, yes. Yes, what a big mistake.
Exactly. And don't worry about that mistake. Believe me, I had someone for my presentation, I had a native Spanish speaker give me a correction on my Spanish in my presentation just this morning. So we all make the mistake, but that's what I would say in terms of that slide. And then the last thing that I would say, I thought you had a good use of the different types of seafood. It helped me as an audience member when you said Peru, Panama, and Italy. As you were making your presentation, I started thinking about maybe some seafood I've had in some of those different countries as well. So I was able to make a personal connection to what you were saying. And then the last thing, which may be a common theme in all of our presentations, but just have that conclusion sentence that as we, before we go to our last slide that talks about who we are and thanking the audience for listening, just making sure that we have that conclusion that allows the audience to remember what was this presentation about? Why is seafood her favorite food? So that's what I would encourage you to do as well. But otherwise, thank you, Maria, for taking the time to be brave and put together this presentation and present to all of us. So let's just give Maria another round of applause. Thank you so much, Maria.
Thank you for your feedback. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, who do we have next? We have Alana next. Is Alana with us?
Me parece que Alana nos dijo que estaba en el trabajo y que no iba a poder presentar. So we can move on to the next person if there is someone else.
Excellent, thank you. Janet, you are on my screen, so I see you. And please correct me, did I pronounce your name correctly?
Hi, good afternoon.
And can you?
My name is Jeanette. Sorry, my English is very well. I am learning. I would like.
Jeanette, no problema. Mi español no es bueno. So we are in this together. Muchas gracias for volunteering, and please go ahead and present.
It's for me, it's very important that this is the first time I speak the English in group. And thanks. I have nerves.
Jeanette,
okay.
That's okay. Take your time. In fact, Jeanette, I'm not going to turn the timer on. Okay. So I want you to take a deep breath. Exhale it out. go ahead and share your screen.
Yes, I am ready.
And I want you
will-
to take all the time that you need, okay?
Okay, I would like to share. You see?
No, can we make sure Yaneth has the ability to share her screen? Excellent. We can see your screen.
Yes?
See.
Okay. 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 Hi, my name is Jeanette Cortez. I am administrative virtual assistant. Sorry, I am look. Okay, my favorite food is rice and chicken. I don't see the image. But okay. My name is Jeanette Cortez. I am Executive Secretary. I live in David, Chiriquí. It is an honor for me to be here. My services are customer control, schedule control, file management, redaction of documents, sales strategy planning, career, and logistics. My job is support the administrative areas of companies, small companies, and independent professionals. Thank you for your time. I invite to follow me on Instagram. You can call me or write me on phone 6467-7650. Mail servicios18online@gmail.com. Bueno, okay. My favorite food is the rice with chicken. Okay, what is my favorite food? Because my mother gives me no sé decir como desde pequeña. Is my favorite food. The another, I like another things, ice cream, but it is my favorite food. Thank you.
Excelente, Yaneth. Let's give Yaneth a round of applause. Excellent. Muchas gracias. Thank you for being brave. That was a really brave thing to do. That was super duper brave. So thank you for getting out of your comfort zone. Thank you for trying something new. It's very scary to try something new, and I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm so glad that you tried it with us. So excellent job, excellent job. All right, but I still have some encouraging words for you, Yaneth. So, first of all, I thought your introduction was, can you share your slides again for me, please? Oh, there's your favorite food. Can you go back to that first slide, the one with your picture on it, please? So while Yaneth is pulling up that slide, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I liked about that slide. So first of all, I liked your picture. I thought it was a very good professional picture. I also thought the picture was good because your services are executive secretary. And so I thought that your picture matched what it was that you did. So similarly, how I said Maria is a nurse, her picture matched what she did. I thought your picture was very, very good. I also really liked your introduction. If you get a chance to show that slide again, so I can see it, because I didn't write down everything. It was very, remember when we talked about the pitch being 30 words or less? I thought you did a really good job on that. I thought that you did a really good job in communicating to people what it is that you do in very few words. So I thought that was really great. The slide with your services. So you had several services that you did. I thought it was a good use of putting the words on the screen. I know you're nervous, and that's okay because this is the first time you've done it. But as you continue to practice, you want to make sure that you say those things slower. Because remember, I'm going to hire you. You're giving me this presentation. I'm excited by what you do. I want to hire you. But I won't be able to hire you if you're going through those services very quickly. So this is your first time doing it. No one is perfect when they do something for the first time, but the way that we get better is to practice. So I would suggest that you practice on that. So that was a very good job. And then listen, arroz y pollo. Arroz y pollo? How can that not be anyone's favorite food? So I like that you talked about how you have a lot of different foods, favorite foods. You talked about ice cream, you talked about other favorite foods, but arroz y pollo is tu favorita. So I like that, and I did, when we saw the slide, I liked that slide as well. Again, the reason why we picked this activity is because we wanted something that you all could talk about that could be familiar to you. So, Yaneth, as you continue to practice, I know that your favorite food, you're probably never in your life going to give another presentation about your favorite food, but it's a good way to practice your speaking. It's a good way to practice your breathing and the slowing down. So I appreciate you sharing that with us as well. And I'm just going to let a couple people come off mute. So Andrea had something to say in the chat. Andrea, if you can come off mute. Okay. Oh, there she is. No, we can't hear you. I'm sorry. Lo siento. We can see you though. Well, Andrea says in the chat that she loved your first slide. So thank you so much, Andrea. Monica.
Hi. Yeah. No, I totally agree with Andrea that I love your first slide. I think it's really original, and I definitely will remember you. I love it. Congratulations.
Gracias, Monica. Nanda, we can have Nanda come off mute.
Yeah, I only want to say that Janet is brave enough to make her presentation. And for me, that's that was important thing, you know. And congrats. Please continue practicing. I know that you was a little nervous. It's normal. So go ahead. You can get it, and you are going to do this very, very well. So continue practice. That's all.
Excellent. Thank you for those encouraging words, Nanda. Sarah.
Hi, I want to congratulate Janet. It was a really good presentation. And what it was impressive is that when we are learning, we used to use many words, and she was able to keep it concise. So that's really, really good and show your effort. Congratulations.
Excellent. Thank you for that comment, Sarah. Sarah said that even though we're all learning, Yanette, you used muchas palabras in your presentation. And that's very commendable, because when we're learning something, we often don't want to use a lot of words. So thank you for recognizing that, Sarah. That's something that I didn't pick up on. So thank you for commenting on that. Iranovi.
I just want to say to Janet that mission accomplished. You did it.
Yes, mission accomplished. From going to something that you had never done before to doing it your first time. I love that. Mission accomplished. That's great. Thank you so much for that, Iranovi. All right, y'all. We have, oh wait, we're here till 6, right? We've got 30 minutes, right? I don't know how much time we have. I just like spending time with y'all. So those are all of the volunteers that I had, but if I remember correctly, there may be a couple other people who may have said that they wanted to volunteer to present, and I didn't get their name. Now's your time. Now's your chance. Is there anyone else who'd like to present? Monica.
Yeah, give me a second.
Of course.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it now. If you want to go into
Yeah, like full screen.
presentation mode. Yep.
Okay. Now you can see it, right?
Excellent. It's all you. It's all you, Monica.
Okay, thanks. Okay, this is my favorite food. Wait a minute. I don't know how to. Now. Okay. Hi, I'm Monica Suarez, and I work as a creative director at my design studio, Ginger Blonde. And you can find me or my design studio in Instagram as Ginger Blonde Prints. Sorry. I love Mediterranean food. I just came from Spain and I just totally love it there. I like it because it is simple, tasty, and easy to prepare. Thank you, and let's keep in touch.
Excellent. Let's give Monica a round of applause for her presentation. Thank you so much for that presentation, Monica.
Thanks.
Well, okay. I am going to open it up to other folks who'd like to give some feedback to Monica, and then I will jump in later. So let's give Monica some feedback.
I'm going to tell Asa.
Okay, go ahead. I'm going to call on Nanda first. Go ahead, Nanda.
Okay, I want to say that, what's the name of the lady?
Monica.
Monica. Monica made a really good presentation, but for me, she speaks so fast. So I understand what she say, of course, but for a presentation, I think that we need to take a breath and try to make easier the presentation. But that the rest was really good. Only for me that was so fast.
Okay. Thank you so much for that feedback, Nanda. Iranobi, I see your comment, but I'm going to ask you to pause for a second if that's okay. Monica, would you like to redo your presentation a little bit slower? And if you don't want to,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
fine.
No, yeah, it's fine. Maybe it's because I'm nervous too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course. Maybe I'll improve.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I'm not going to turn the timer on, so you're not going to see the timer.
Okay.
And I want you to take a deep breath in. Deep breath out.
Okay. This is my favorite food. Hi, I am Monica Suarez and I work as creative director at my design studio, Ginger Blonde. You can find my business in Instagram as Ginger Blonde Prints. My favorite food is Mediterranean food. I love it because it's simple, tasty, and easy to prepare. And thank you, and let's keep in touch.
Excellent. Let's give Monica a round of applause for starting over again. Sometimes it's hard to start over again. So thank you for being brave and redoing your presentation. I really appreciate that, Monica.
No. Thank you all for your comments.
Of course. Iranovi.
Hello again. Well, I just love the ginger blonde, like the name, it just catch my attention. So that will be something that I will remember and will relate it to you. So that was lovely. And just as a positive feedback, or like I will add a little bit more like in the background of your writing, because you have like short things on the slides, but I think that you could add a little bit more, like talk a bit more about yourself and also about your favorite food.
Okay, yeah, it was quite general. Before, I don't remember who you made like a similar comment about it was like my favorite food was seafood, and I thought
Yeah.
that I saying like Mediterranean food.
But yeah, it was, I love the colors too of the background, how you match it. So yeah, good work.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Iranovi. Yvonne, and if I mispronounce your name, please correct me. Yvonne?
It's just perfect. Nikki, it's just perfect. Yeah, I prefer Evo, but yeah, that's Yvonne. It's alright. Just as a little feedback to anyone. But first of all, I would like to mention that all the presentations, since Iranovi and Jeanette and Monica and Maria Victoria, all of them have been great. I've learned a lot of, little tips from each one of you. Braver than me, or I didn't have time to set a presentation. I might just say it, but I would like just to mention to Monica, yes, I can tell you're into the design because of, you took the time to put the colors and the font, like the scheme. But my only comment would be just to try to use, I wouldn't say like a higher or bigger font size, but something about a little bit bolder, because I mean, I don't know how close or far away is your audience from your presentation. And me that I'm wearing glasses, it might be a little bit of difficult if you choose like a font that is too thin, might make it difficult, for others to see if maybe they're a little bit far away from, the presentations that you are be doing. Let's imagine like if you're on a salon, not really like the presentation on the computer, but in like a physical audience, in like a hotel or some room, you have to remember, so there might be people in the background that might not be able to read everything completely, just but everything else, the comment as well, also to pace it down a little bit. But I understand, because yes, we all are nervous every time that we present or to talk, to people you're not familiar with. But I would say that overall it was good, as all the rest of the ladies before you, all of them have been great. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much for those encouraging words, Yvonne. And I love what you said about the font size. So one of the things I like to talk about in my business is inclusion and accessibility, because I say that hopefully one day all of us will get old. That is the plan. And as we age, maybe sometimes we can't see the words. Maybe if we don't age, it doesn't matter who you are. So making sure that our presentations are accessible. One tip that I have for you, so now you're getting 4 tips and not just 3. The fonts on your slides should be no less than 30 points. So every word on your slide, you can have it bigger than 30 points, but it should not be smaller than 30 points. So that's just kind of a tip that I can give you all as you start to put your presentations together. But yes, everyone is nervous, which you should be. Everyone should be nervous. You're presenting to an unfamiliar crowd. So thank you for everyone who has been brave to present to us today. Okay, so I have a few comments for you, Monica. The design. Muy linda, muy linda. The design was exceptional. Which is your background, which I think is actually really good. Your background, you're a designer, you're in the creative industries. You want to make sure that your presentation is beautiful, and you nailed it. You did a very, very good job on that. One thing that you did in the first presentation that you did not do in the second presentation. In the first presentation, you talked about your trip to Spain and how that connected to the Mediterranean food. So one of the things that I would suggest, and I don't know if you used Canva to make your presentation or something similar to kind of a design application to make your presentation. I would suggest that you use something like PowerPoint or Google Slides first, and then transport it into your Canva or your creative application. And the reason why I say that is because PowerPoint and Google Slides has something called speaker notes. So when I was presenting today, you couldn't see me, but I was using my speaker notes. So that meant that I wrote down every single thing that I was saying, but you as the audience could not see that. And when I was putting this presentation together, I was actually going to put it together in Canva. And I noticed Canva didn't have that function. It didn't have the function that allowed me to apply my speaker notes. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't use those creative apps. I think those creative apps are really, really great. But you may want to use something in which you can have your speaker notes so you don't forget to talk about your amazing trip to Spain in your second presentation.
Okay, thanks.
Of course. And then the last thing I will say to you, Monica, which I will say to all of the women gathered here, this is not just a Monica comment, this is to all of the women gathered here. You don't have to say you're sorry. You don't have to say you're sorry. So sometimes things happen, sometimes the slide doesn't come up the right way, or you're speaking too fast, or you get lost. You don't have to say you're sorry. And maybe that is a very United States thing of me to say, and I do understand that there are cultural differences, and I want to be respectful of that as well. But as someone who has presented so many times, multiple times, things happen. As the presenter, you are in control. This is your presentation. So you don't have to say you're sorry. Instead, you can say, un momento. Give me a moment. It's just a difference between things that women do and things that men do. And so I'm saying that because we have an audience of female identifying people. And so I want to make sure that I'm imparting those types of tips to you as well. And that's just to all of us. Okay. So yeah, so that was fantastic, Monica. Thank you so much for putting that presentation together, and thank you for sharing with us as well.
No, thank you for the comments.
Of course. Anyone else? Okay. I don't see anyone who else wants to. Yvonne, you said that you didn't put a presentation together, but you may want to just go off the cuff. You may want to just talk. You still want to do that?
If there's some time, I'm up for it. Yeah.
Of course there's time. I want to hear about your favorite food. You've got me interested now.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Well, good evening to all. Um, full name Yvonne Tolme, but as you can maybe read it under my picture, I go by Evo and shorter one. And as I would say, as my I would say major, that I would be an architect. That's what I do for a living. But then that's like just a little side of me, really. I'm more into as in or discussing this topic. I just love food, like almost everyone, I guess. And I have several favorite foods, but one of them is Japanese food. And well, that would be the second spot. First spot, obviously, Panamanian food. There's nothing like it. But my second one would be Japanese food. And then since I would think everyone is familiar with Panamanian food, I would like to talk a little bit about Japanese food. With this, as well, it's come like more known. The Japanese restaurants, maybe some of us are really familiar with sushi. That's one of the things I really like about it. It's because it has involves rice, which I like also, and also it loves seafood mainly, and that's also one of the other I would say foods. And combining them together, it's like I would say like an explosion for me. So that's why I love Japanese food so much. And well, the other thing would be if you haven't tried, well, I would encourage you to enjoy it, even though if you might not be too, you wouldn't like really like seafood. I would say that still it's a good the food that you can taste is healthy and good for you. Just don't put too much wasabi if you're a novice or you're starting to eat it. Start by eating it little by little. That's what I would advise. And well, the other thing would be, well, if you like, I can would be able to share my contact information on the chat as I didn't have like the presentation on to show you. But yeah, it's really nice. These would say a little bit of I would say how you call it presentation that you could put up together, Nikki, to help every one of us here that have joined this meeting to improve ourselves, how to present each other, and how I mean this is like your like your presentation card, how to meet up really people, and that's not only for work, that's just for you as a social interaction. It's really important, and we might not have mastered it yet, but with this course, I'm sure that with your little tips, definitely, I'm sure that we will improve. And thank you again. And thank you for listening.
Excellent. Let's give Ivo a round of applause for the presentation. Thank you so much, Ivo. Okay, excellent. Anyone would like to chime in with some comments? Okay, well, I'm going to start. So, few things that just stuck out to me. I loved how you said that you're an architect, but it's not all of you. So there's more to you. So that made me very curious about what else is there to know. So that as an audience member, that helped me listen to your presentation. I loved your use of the word explosion when you talked about the rice and the fish coming together. I think sometimes using interesting words helps your audience connect with what you're saying. So I thought that was an interesting use of the word, and I really like that. You made me laugh. Not all of us have that in us, and that's fine. But the way that you spoke about Japanese food, it made me smile. It made me feel relaxed. Just your presentation style put me at ease, and I really like that as well. And then the last thing that I will say that I enjoyed was, so you didn't have a presentation, you didn't have slides or contact or slides, but what you did is you made sure that you addressed each point. So I was still able to follow your presentation without the slides, and you provided an alternative way for us to contact you. So it showed that you are agile in your presentation style. You were put on the spot. You didn't know that you were going to do that, but you still were able to address all of the points that we asked you to address. So I thought that was really good as well. And we have Evo's information in the chat as well. So with that, you all, I have 15 minutes left. I like to do something with all of my groups that I'm going to try with you all. So let me just tell you, we have 14 minutes left. So I'm going to give this activity to you, but I want you to be mindful that I want to hear from all of you in the 15 minutes. So just, maybe don't talk as long if we want to get out on time, okay? So each one of you is going to come off mute, even if you don't show your face, that's completely fine. But I want you to tell me one reaction that you had from this activity and one hope for the future. So I'm going to write this in the chat. One reaction to this activity, one hope for the future. Okay? One reaction to this activity, one hope for the future. We have 14 minutes left, so just make sure that you speak short in a short sentence so that everyone can go, okay? All right, I'm going to start with Evo, if that's okay. Evo, can you please tell the group one reaction that you had to this activity and one hope for the future?
One reaction question. One reaction, what do you mean? What I come up with?
Sí.
Okay. Well, first of all, we try to gather as much information, as much tips that you provided everyone, because all of them have been really good for, each one of us. It applies to each one of us. And other thing, it's
and one hope for the future.
Yes, that I'm certain that I'm improve my pitch for the future with this tip. I'm sure. I do have my notes. I wrote down some tips, so I'm paying attention.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Evo, for participating. I've appreciated you being a part of our session. Yaneth, one reaction to this activity and one hope for the future.
It's wonderful for me. I write in the chat, is the best of my day. The best of the day is that. It is very important for me, really, that I see and have the opportunity to talk with you, with yours, with hers, is very important. I crying, I go to the bathroom because I was studying in the high school bilingual secretary. Is the essential, the verbs and the another words. In the past, in the time, I prepared a few.
Well,
because my children is the house and the work. I don't have time. But in my head, I like these idioms. I would like to prepare for the future. In my service is very important.
Well, Yaneth, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here, and thank you for being a part of our presentation today. So thank you, Yaneth. Iranovi, one reaction to this activity and one hope for the future.
One reaction is that I think that I have another idea of the presentation, that maybe you will be talking more than we did and interact. So that was like a surprise. That will be the reaction. and it was really nice. And then one thing that I hope for the future is that one of the reasons that I choose to be volunteer and to be part of this meeting tonight is that I'm putting together some presentation and workshops for the planner by Irano Vigreno. So that's why one of the reasons that I joined this meeting tonight.
Excellent. Well, thank you for presenting. Thank you for volunteering, and thank you for your comments, and thank you for being here tonight as well, Novi. Monica, one reaction from this activity, one hope for the future.
I love the activity, and I love to be able to see other people's presentations and the feedback, and hope for the future. Maybe that the Panama American Center make more activities like this, because I think it's really like helpful.
Well, thank you, Monica. Thank you so much for volunteering, and thank you for your participation today. Maria, one reaction to this activity, one hope for the future.
Thank you so much for this activity. I love the methodology of the activity, the interaction between you and us, because I saw as Iranovi that we were to be more passive in during the meeting. So this is a challenge for us, and it's really nice to to share this kind of activities. And for the future, this is my first time in this kind of activities, and this encouraged me to motivate me to to be in more activities organized by you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your participation. Thank you for volunteering, Maria, and thank you for participating in our session. Nanda, one reaction from this activity, one hope for the future.
Okay, first of all, I want to say thank you. I really learned a lot from you. Thanks for the tips. And I really want to encourage the Panama American Center, to continue preparing this kind of activities, because it's amazing. I learned a lot. It's not this is not my first activity with you, but it's really, really good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for participating, Nanda. I appreciate it. Sarah, one reaction from today, one hope for the future.
Thank you so much for this workshop. My reaction will be that I didn't know it's gonna be so with interactions. So that was really good. And also all the feedback session, it caught my attention that everyone was participating and giving feedback. And the hope for the future, I would like to challenge myself to be a future volunteer.
I can't wait, Sarah. I cannot wait. Thank you for participating today.
Thank you.
Andrea, can we hear you? I hope we can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can hear you. One reaction, one hope.
I hit reboot my computer. That's why I kind of dropped off for a minute. My one reaction is I really like the sense of community and safe space that was created. So thank you for doing that. And then I think you give some really good tips to help create more thoughtful PowerPoints that make sure to include representation of myself, and not just the content, but then also incorporate the ideas that you presented today.
Excellent. Thank you, Andrea, for that reflection, and thank you for your participation today as well. Ariadna, one reaction to this activity, one hope for the future.
Yes, to me, I'm super happy to see many brave women, very confident presenting. That made me so happy, and also like daring to do what they did. So congratulations for that. And one hope for the future, I hope that sessions like this keep happening. And I keep telling people about what the Panama American Center is doing. So I hope more people join. And it's really cool when you guys have no age restrictions, because there are so many activities like I would like to join, like for example, coding and some other activities you have. But there are age restrictions, and that makes sense, right? Because it's for kids, but it would be nice to have it for adults as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that observation, Ariadna, and thank you for your participation as well. All right, I have a few more people that I want to call on. Ariana Telez. Ariana Teles, one reaction to this activity, one hope for the future. Oh, excuse me, Adriana. That's my mistake. I didn't read that correctly. Adriana. Okay. Miss Carmela, one reaction to this activity, one hope for the future.
It's been a wonderful experience for me, Nikki. I thank you so much. One of the things I really enjoy watching is the body language and your enthusiasm, because I think that makes everything so interesting. The smile and you know, for that for me is really a win-win. And what I hope for the future, I enjoyed seeing the courage of those who are not that fluent in English, but they have made the attempt. And you who are not that fluent in Spanish, you made that attempt to communicate some. And I think I enjoyed that very much. So congratulations, and congratulations to the Panama American Center also.
Thank you so much, Ms. Carmela, for that reflection, and thank you for your participation today.
Sure.
All right, I have 2 more people and 4 more minutes. So Maeve, one reaction to this activity, one hope for the future.
I really appreciated you mentioning not saying I'm sorry and instead just moving on. And I feel that you demonstrated that when you commented on the fact that talking about one's professional life and liking favorite food didn't go together, and you just took responsibility and said, okay, you know, we could have done it another way, but here we go. And then refocused all of us on what we could get out of talking about 2 things that seem so different. So yay. And I would really, for the future, I would really like more of these presentations. And I hope you do one on refining one's pitch. And also what you say after you give your pitch. Thanks, Nikki.
Thank you so much, Maeve, for your participation today as well. All right, uno más, Lourdes. Lourdes, one reaction to this activity, one hope for the future.
Hi, good evening. First of all, I want to apologize. My Zoom, for some reason, kept coming in and out. So I couldn't, my camera, every time I tried to put my camera on, it kept freezing. So I had to get out. So anyway, but I really, really, really enjoyed being part of this group, being part of this presentation. My reaction was, wow, it's so amazing to see all these wonderful women participating, getting to better themselves. And thank you for your time that you have taken to teach us this. My hope for the future is that maybe you may want to continue doing something like this so more of us can participate and enhance our skills in public speaking. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much for that reflection, Lourdes, and thank you for your participation as well. So with that, unless Maria from Panama American Center, do you have a reflection from tonight and a hope for the future?
Well, my reflection would be that I am super happy that you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful. And my hope for the future is that you guys continue to participate in PACs or Panama American Center's activities. I know some of you are familiar. Monica has been to some events here. So thank you for joining. Thank you for being part of the community. I invite you guys to follow us on Instagram at Panama American Center if you have not done that. And we'll probably continue to do activities like these. We are super interested in developing professional skills for women and women in STEAM and engineering, maths, the culture, the arts. So you guys are welcome to join. And just as a side note, we're going to be sending a post-event survey via email in a few minutes. So you guys can give us your feedback about this activity and tell us what you like, what you didn't like, what could be better, what could be improved, so we can work on activities for the future. This is actually the first virtual event, like fully virtual event that we do at the PAC, because we have done some hybrid things here and there, but never something completely virtual. So any feedback that you guys have is welcome, so we can improve that and continue to create more accessible events for people outside of the city.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Maria. And I want to thank the Panama American Center for hosting me. You all have been an amazing partner. So thank you for allowing me to join you all. It's 6 o'clock where I'm at, 6 o'clock. So I want to let you all go. I put my information in the chat, but if Maria has a way for me to reach out to you all in the future, I will do that. But otherwise, muchas gracias. Hasta pronto. And ciao.